What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. I want to get this one in. Before I go into it, though, I want to make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Spread these videos, man, for anybody that you think may need to see them. Also, tune into our podcast channel, the Underground Dialogue Podcast, every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Booker T will be our guest, WWE legend tomorrow at Wednesday night at 9, so check us out. I wanted to go into this one because I think it's a bigger problem than people may recognize, and that is the over emotional mindset of a lot of men. Um, and I know some of y'all might be thinking, oh man, these women be emotional. Women are emotional creatures. They be, okay, that's cool, but as men, we are the ones who've been assigned to lead, to protect, to provide, to bring the family, to keep the family together and bring the family from one side to the other safely. That is our job. And if we are slacking in terms of our mindset and letting things knock us off course because we getting triggered and emotional and in our feelings behind things that naturally may um, bring up those feelings, but they shouldn't be overblown, because overblown emotions can lead to irreparable damage. And of course, emotion is a natural part of the human being and the human experience. We feel feelings of love, we feel sadness, we feel anger, we feel happiness, humor, frustration. All of these different things are emotions that exist within the human being, but our goal and our role as men is to master those emotions or gain enough control over them so that you won't just jump off the cliff and crash all the way out. And the world is run by a lot of overly emotional men. So as the head, if the head falls, then we already know what the back end of that statement is. So here's some examples. If there's a situation where, as a man, you may have a situation with your woman and she's talking crazy, she's talking reckless and disrespectful, and you lose yourself, and you losing yourself causes you to put your hands on it, causes you to beat her up, or even worse, take her life. You found out, she may be seeing another guy. How do you handle that from an emotional standpoint? You're going to feel hurt. You're going to feel mad, sad, angry, all these different things. But regardless of what's going on in your life, or in the situation you're in, a mathematical decision is supposed to always override the emotional decision. What is the mathematical decision? The mathematical decision is to do what is absolutely best for everybody in that particular situation. So in order to not be in prison, you have to make the logical decision to say, okay, well, I'm going to move on. Other examples could be, well, okay, somebody at the job said something out of pocket that was not extreme enough to where you were supposed to just go all out. Because there are situations where I don't mean go postal, but I mean you may say, you know what, man, I'm going to go off on this dude and I'm going to quit. I'm done. But other situations may not be as extreme, so you think about, hey man, I got a family to feed. I'm not going to let this particular situation take me off track. Thirdly, we have to be very careful to make sure that we don't let other people's emotions cause us to make the wrong move. And that happens a lot. You may have a pretty good handle on the situation, or kind of understand, okay, well, yeah, we'll figure it out. But somebody around you is freaking out. Somebody around you is pressuring you and saying what we need to do. You just gonna let them do this, you gonna let them do that. And then the pressure causes you to cave in and make a bad decision because somebody else's emotion was imposed on you. And when you knew what the right thing to do was, you caved under that pressure. See, even when you know that something might be hurtful to somebody in the moment, or maybe your moves may be misunderstood by somebody in the moment, or by a bunch of somebodies in the moment. When you know that it's the right move to make, you got to block that out, and that's part of the quest of mastery over those emotions. Because once the reality of what you knew to do comes into fruition, like, see, this is why I did what I did. If the people around you don't trust your movements after that, then that's on them. But you can never let those types of things put you in a place where you lose sight of who you are. See? Because all you can live is one moment at a time, you know. But as short as a moment is, moment could be 2 seconds. It could be 15 seconds. As short as a moment is, that moment can ruin you for the rest of your life, or can affect you for the rest of your life. We have situations where we may have problems with a significant other or something, and if a child is involved, we'll make emotional moves that affect the child because of how we feel about the mother of the child. Not a smart thing to do, because over time the child grows up and they become affected by your and my lack of control over our emotions. And these are things that a lot of men never grow out of. So now you got men who are leaders of the world. You have men who are in law enforcement that are overly emotional, can't control themselves. So somebody says, "Man, officer, why you pulling me over?" And you triggered and you end up hurting somebody when you were supposed to be a protector of the community. See? You got people who are rich and famous, whose egos have taken over them, and somebody treats them as a normal person, and that's a problem for them. Or somebody denies them something that they feel like they're entitled to, and that's a problem for them. See? These are the things you got to get a handle on if you want to be successful moving forward. Learning how to read the room, learning how to not be affected by other people's emotions. So keep that in mind as you move forward. It's a lot more, but we can't possibly get into all of it. I will catch y'all with another one real soon. It's your big brother, K-Rino. Y'all subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.